What happens when a tiny basement bakery run by a stay-at-home mom transforms into a billion-dollar global empire, all because of a single slice of cheesecake? Behind every bite of creamy, strawberry-topped goodness at the Cheesecake Factory is a story of risk, reinvention, and a menu so enormous it once gave its founder nightmares about the competition. Today on Behind Brand Success, we're peeling back the layers of America's favorite indulgent dining spot to discover how it turned dessert into an empire, how one man's failed rock band paved the way for a restaurant revolution, and what every entrepreneur can learn from a place that sells 250 dishes yet still keeps people lining up for more. Stick around, because by the end, you'll see why the Cheesecake Factory didn't just build a menu. They built an experience so powerful it barely needs ads to survive, and why its story is a lesson for anyone trying to stand out in a world of copycats. Say the Cheesecake Factory and watch people's faces light up. It's an instant association with indulgence, big plates, big calories, and even bigger slices of cheesecake you swear you'll split with a friend but somehow always finish yourself. But behind that name is a carefully engineered brand that turned what should have been a niche dessert shop into a powerhouse with more than 200 restaurants across the US and abroad. Today, the Cheesecake Factory pulls in over $2.5 billion a year, a jaw-dropping figure when you realize that's about $12 million per restaurant, quadruple what comparable casual dining chains make. For context, Applebee's or Chili's average $2 to $3 million per location. So how did this happen? One of the first mind-blowing facts about the Cheesecake Factory is this: they barely advertise. You won't find catchy jingles on TV or billboards on the highway. Instead, the entire business is built on a single, unstoppable force: word of mouth. NBA players have turned it into an inside joke. It's been name-dropped in rap lyrics. Drake, of all people, immortalized it in his 2016 hit Child's Play, and even took a cheesecake to the face in the music video. Pop culture moments like these cost the Cheesecake Factory exactly $0, yet they keep the brand top of mind in a way even $1 million Super Bowl ad couldn't. Let's rewind. Detroit, 1940s. Evelyn Overton, a mother reading a newspaper, stumbles on a simple cheesecake recipe. She bakes one for her husband's boss. He raves about it. Soon, Evelyn's cheesecake is the dessert everyone wants. She opens a tiny bakery, but here's the twist: instead of chasing rapid growth, Evelyn chooses her kids. She moves her bakery into her basement so she can bake and still be a mom. For 25 years, that cheesecake legacy is hidden away under her family's house. Then, in 1972, with her kids grown, Evelyn and her husband Oscar do something most people would never risk at that age. They bet their life savings, $10,000, pack up their dreams, and drive to Los Angeles to start over. They open the Cheesecake Factory Bakery, not a restaurant yet, just a wholesale bakery selling cheesecakes to local restaurants. And business booms. But the leap from bakery to booming restaurant empire? That wasn't Evelyn, that was her son, David Overton. In the early 70s, David wasn't thinking about restaurants at all. He was in San Francisco, chasing his dream of being a rock drummer. He dropped out of law school. He played gigs alongside Janis Joplin's band. He thought music would be his ticket. When that fizzled out, David did what a lot of us hope we do: he went home to help his parents. In 1978, he took a wild shot. He opened the very first Cheesecake Factory restaurant in Beverly Hills. No business plan. No restaurant experience. Just a tiny cafe, only about 3,200 square feet, where people could taste his mom's famous cheesecakes fresh from the source. He figured maybe other restaurants would taste the hype and order wholesale. But he underestimated just how much people wanted not just the cake, but the whole experience. On opening day, a line formed half an hour before the doors opened. The hype didn't fade, it grew. Within 5 years, David opened a second location. Another 5 years later, a third. By the early 90s, the Cheesecake Factory was a public company with restaurants stretching beyond California. Today, David Overton is still the CEO, a rare founder who's never stepped aside, steering the company through decades of expansion and even recession-proofing its niche. What about menu? That makes no sense but works anyway. Here's where the Cheesecake Factory really breaks the restaurant rulebook. Most restaurants live or die by specialization. Think In-N-Out, 3 burgers, fries, shakes. Simple, scalable, predictable. The Cheesecake Factory, their menu is longer than some novels, 20 pages. Over 250 items, not counting the desserts or drinks. Pasta, burgers, seafood, tacos, Asian stir-fry, steak, salads, brunch, and 30-plus flavors of cheesecake for dessert. How does that even work? How does one kitchen pull it off without the chaos collapsing the business? The answer is hidden in an ironclad system. 1. Cheesecakes come from 2 massive central bakeries, one in California, one in North Carolina, ensuring every slice is identical. 2. Everything else made fresh, in-house, using over 900 ingredients sourced and prepped daily. 3. The menu updates twice a year. New dishes rotate in, old ones fade out. So even menu bloat has a system. David Overton once admitted that the giant menu wasn't a plan at all, it was paranoia. He worried that if he didn't offer enough, a competitor down the block would poach his customers. So he just kept adding and adding and adding. The result? If you're in a group and can't agree on where to eat, the Cheesecake Factory is the default. You want nachos? Done. Your friend wants sushi? Sure. Someone else wants a vegan bowl. They probably have it. So, the cheesecake got people in the door. The menu kept them there. But what really sets the Cheesecake Factory apart is what they call upscale casual dining. It's a segment they basically invented. Not fine dining. Not cheap chain fare like Chili's or Olive Garden. Something in between: big plates, fancy decor, moody lighting, marble pillars, and that Egyptian art vibe you instantly recognize. Most restaurants in this category target suburban malls and areas with higher incomes. You'll almost always find a Cheesecake Factory next to an upscale shopping center, because if you just splurged on a shopping spree, why not splurge on dinner too? Average check? Around $30 a person, pricey enough to feel special, but not so high that it's off limits for birthdays, date nights, or just because. And that higher bill explains why each location's sales numbers tower over their casual dining competitors. Here's something you won't see on the menu, but it might be the single biggest reason they keep the lights on: their people. Running a Cheesecake Factory kitchen is no joke. With so many fresh-made dishes and tight quality control, operations are more complicated than many fine dining spots. To keep turnover low and performance high, the Cheesecake Factory invests heavily in its people. General managers average over 10 years of experience, a rarity in the restaurant world. Since 1997, top managers get a leased BMW and performance bonuses. Hourly workers get healthcare if they work 25 hours a week, also rare in the industry. The company consistently lands on Fortune's 100 Best Companies to Work For list, not something you'd expect for a giant casual chain. Nearly 50,000 employees power this engine, many of them fiercely loyal. So what can any entrepreneur, or anyone craving success, learn from the Cheesecake Factory? 1. Don't underestimate the power of word of mouth. Ads fade, but cravings and stories people tell their friends stick. 2. Don't be afraid to break the rules. The giant menu shouldn't work. But it does, because it's not just food. It's insurance against losing a table of picky eaters. 3. Bet on quality and consistency. Centralized cheesecakes ensure the signature dish is identical from Beverly Hills to Boston to Dubai. 4. Take care of the people who run the show. Happy employees make for better service, better food, and customers who keep coming back. And maybe the biggest lesson? Stay true to what made you special. The Cheesecake Factory could have pivoted, franchised to the moon, watered down its menu, or turned its cheesecake into a grocery store brand. But instead, they doubled down on their niche, a sit-down dining experience that feels just a bit fancy, a bit fun, and always indulgent. So, next time you're at the Cheesecake Factory splitting an appetizer the size of your head, remember, you're not just eating dinner. You're taking part in a story that started in a Detroit basement, survived the rock and roll dream of a dropout drummer, and turned cheesecake into an unstoppable global craving. What do you think? Is the Cheesecake Factory worth the hype, or is it overpriced nostalgia? Drop your thoughts in the comments, your stories, your favorite flavors, or maybe your wildest cheesecake bill. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the delicious empire behind America's biggest menu, subscribe to Behind Brand Success, where we reveal the rise, the fall, and the secrets big brands don't want you to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with another slice of the story behind the brands you think you know.